Great. Hi. Today I'm going to share three simple things that you can do to reset and replenish your nervous system. So, a dysregulated nervous system is probably the number one thing that I see in the clinic. And I would say is pretty much affecting everyone in our modern world, but it's really affecting midlife women. And because midlife women are who I work with the most, it's really important to regulate, to understand the impacts of a dysregulated nervous system. So it can show up when that nervous system is dysregulated over time. It can show up with gut imbalances, so leaky gut, bloating after you eat, IBS-like symptoms, just digestive sensitivities to food, hormonal imbalance, all types of hormonal imbalance. So really a lot of the symptoms we associate with midlife, perimenopause, and menopause are completely avoidable when we get to the root, which I think the number one root is a dysregulated nervous system, which I've said probably 3 times right now, but obviously an exclamation point. So hormonal imbalance, it can show up with mood, inflammation, chronic pain, any kind of sleep issue, insomnia. It can affect bone loss, so bone density. It can show up with anxiety or depression. Basically, if our nervous system is dysregulated or we're in a fight or flight state, it's going to shut down every single system considered non-essential because survival always comes first. And so it's really important to know we're built for this. It's not about never being dysregulated or never having that fight or flight state, but we should pop in and out. So something stressful happens and then we're calm, we go back to a more relaxed state, and that's where our body thrives. You can see this in nature. There's amazing studies and document footage of animals when they're in the wild. And if an animal has been chased or they're in a survival state, maybe in a freeze state or something, or they once it gets away, they'll follow it back to wherever it's safe, and you'll see the animal will shake out the adrenaline and the cortisol and go back to that like that very natural healing state. But what happens when as humans, we're not taught to do that. And we are circulating in this chronic state of stress regularly. So our body is often flooded with extra adrenaline and cortisol, the hormones that are released when we're in a stress state. And the problem with our modern culture is our body doesn't know the difference between real threat and a movie that's stressful, a violent movie, or chronic bad news stories on the news, or stressful or fearful stories. If our schedules are too full, too jam-packed, and we're rushing, we're stuck in traffic, just chronic stress and tension, like I'm sure you can list a whole bunch of ways that that shows up for you, that will keep us in this dysregulated state ongoing. Luckily, though, there are some really simple things that you can do to signal safety and to bring your body back to balance. And back to that rest, digest, place where our cells repair, where we are thriving and basically replenishing our systems. And the beautiful thing is the more you do this, the more your body remembers what it's like to feel safe, to feel calm. And again, I said you're going to pop in and out, but when you catch it, when you notice that you're in a dysregulated state, maybe your heart is racing, maybe you're just feeling super tight, your stomach's in a knot, you're just talking really fast, or you're just feeling really stressed. There's these simple things that I'm going to tell you can do, some of them immediately, some of them throughout the course of your day, and it will make a huge difference. So the first thing to do is to signal safety by using a nervous system resetting tool. So I have a ton of them that I've done in my videos. So I'm going to, in the show notes, I'll link to some other videos. But one of my favorite ones comes from Qigong. So Qigong is a very healing, regulating, circulating martial art. And I'm not going to do Qigong today, but there's one thing called shaking in it. And this is really great if you've got so much energy circulating in your system and you're kind of vibrating really high. So shaking is really simple. It is shaking. So what you're going to do is you're just going to start shaking one limb. You can count to, 15, 20 seconds. You can do it a little longer with one limb and then the other limb. You can do both of them together. You can start adding in your body. You can go on one leg and feel it, just like the shiggling and the jiggling on both sides, and do the two legs, and just you can get your whole body into it and do that for a couple of minutes. This is releasing some of the adrenaline and cortisol. It is a way that your nervous system will relax. You can test, it's really kind of a fun little party trick, if you will, to test your nervous system before and after doing a resetting tool, just to see the impact on your body, because the unconscious mind, your body is very primal and it will respond before your mind does. So a simple way to do that is you can use a tension test in your body. So checking, you can move your neck from one side to the other and just notice how your neck feels. You can find a place on the wall to see how far it turns to. And then you do the exercise, shaking it out, and then you check again. And I always say I turn into a bit of an owl. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I can often go a lot further after I've done the resetting tool. So you can try the shaking. If it doesn't work for you or it doesn't feel like the one for you, check out the other videos. Not all resetting tools are good for everyone. So it's really about finding the one that's right for you. But shaking is a really fun one, particularly if you're like, there's a lot of energy going on in here. So that's number one. Number two, it's kind of similar from a shaking perspective, but if you're doing a more passive nervous system resetting tool, this is another powerful thing you can add on, and that's small bursts of movement. Like I said, when we're flooded, like our body will be flooded with adrenaline and cortisol if we're in a stress state. And that's the body saying, if we need to get out of here fast, we need to have the energy to do it. Or if we need to do something heroic, like lift a car off a baby or a puppy or something like that. That's why you get these little women at 5'0" and they've lifted a car or something. It's because their body is just pumped with this adrenaline. And so that's great for the moment, but if it's circulating too often and too long, that's where it can lead to burnout. So small bursts of movement, this means 1 to 2 minutes intense, and then slow it down for maybe 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes. So you're going to sprint. Maybe you can't sprint, but you can jumping jacks, jump around, run up and down stairs, something that's intense, get your heart rate up, and then recover. And you're going to cycle in and out of that for no more than, we could do a lot in 15 minutes, but 20 to 25 minutes is good. I feel like I'm going to cough. I'm going to cough. Hold on. Tickle in my throat. Okay, that's better. So no more than 20 to 25 minutes. If we go for long cardio, that will actually tell our body it's in a stress state. So keeping it short, so that's beautiful, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, up to 20 minutes, cycling in and out can be really helpful. So that small burst of movements, I have another video that I'll put on these sort of micro movements, and I'll put that in the show notes as well. And then the third one, these are one of my favorite tools, and if you know me, you know how much I love them, the essential oils. And so there are a couple of essential oils that are very, very replenishing for the nervous system. In particular, my number one go-to is black spruce. So black spruce is an ancient tree. It's found in Canada. It is known to replenish and support the HPA axis. So that's the hypopituitary adrenal axis. In Chinese medicine, it's part of the kidney system. And we say the kidney system is where our adrenal glands are housed, but it is the most important bank of energy. So it's like our bank account or the reserve of energy. And we want to have a lot of kidney essence or energy in Chinese medicine. And when we're in that constant state of fight or flight, our body is sort of operating in overdraft, I like to say. So I don't want you to be in overdraft. I want you to feel better. So black spruce is a great oil for that. And there's lots of ways you can use the oil. I often recommend putting it on the inside arch of your foot and just putting it on and holding it for about 30 seconds. You can do that every day. It's great to do when you wake up, if you have a time of the day or you're feeling stressed or before bed. That's a great way to use it. But one of my favorites to feel really safe and signal safety in the body is something called a pelvic hold. And the way that one works is you're going to take an oil. You want it to be high quality, pre-diluted. So 50% blend is great. So 1 drop of black spruce and 1 drop of a carrier oil like sweet almond oil, fractionated coconut oil, jojoba. You can use a household oil like olive oil in a pinch. or you can get them pre-diluted. I'll put some links for great oils that I love and that are my personal favorites that I use, but there are great, all kinds of great ones out there. So find a good quality one. And all you're going to do is you're going to take your oil, always have a little sniff of it, and put a few drops in your hand. And then you're going to rub your hands together and you're going to place one hand on your front, on your low belly, below your belly button, and the other hand going downwards on your sacrum. So your sacrum is that triangular bone at the base of your spine, right? Go down towards the tip of your bum and just holding it there. One on the front, one on the back, just holding and breathing. And you can hold that for 1 to 2 minutes is great. You might do a little bit of a meditation. You can hold it a little longer if you choose. But that one is going to really signal safety. It's going to help allow the black spruce to absorb in. And in particular, this low pelvic region and that low back is really important from the Chinese medicine for nourishing that kidney system as well. The low back, we say, shows up with the kidney. If it's low back pain, chronic knee pain, that's a sign that system's off of balance. So those are your 3 things. I'm going to actually throw in a little bonus, and that is to make sure that you're nourished. And we want to be nourished by eating clean, whole, unprocessed foods. So you want to give your body the building blocks to repair tissue, to build hormones, and just to feel like it's got the resources to thrive. And because I want you to thrive, because you're born to thrive. So there you go, the 3 things. First is signaling safety and some nervous system resetting tool. Second one is small bursts of movement. Third one is an essential oil. And the bonus is really super unprocessed, clean foods. Not complicated, not something that's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she said those things. They're probably really obvious, but the thing is we often forget to do them. So the more that you do these simple things, the more you signal safety, the more your body remembers that it is safe, that it is okay to replenish. It can get out of that fight or flight survival mode and come back to balance. So I hope that was helpful for you. And like I said, I'll put so many of the other resources in the notes. I love your comments. I love your requests. And I love you. I think you're wonderful. The world needs you just as you are. We need you feeling good. So I'm here to help support you. All right. Have a beautiful day or evening, and I will see you next time.